How's it going, YouTube? It's your boy Noah back again with another NFL video, and I'm here to preview week 2. But before I get into it, I'm just so ticked off. This is actually my third time recording this video. Oh my god. The first time I did it, I did a test video, right? And then my roommate came in, and so I was like, okay, I can't use this video, so I'm just gonna end the test video and start a new video once he leaves. And little did I realize I forgot to end the test video, so when I actually started my actual recording I was going to upload, it actually just ended the test video and did not start recording anything new. So that sucked. And then the second time I tried recording this video, it recorded perfectly fine. I had the Packers-Falcons game going on in the background. You see it's already started. It's at 8 minutes left. And then I realized, as soon as I finished, I realized that I had my mic muted the entire time. And so now I have to do my picks again for the third straight time. And oh my god, it just sucks because I freaking explained every game and why I thought who these people would win. I went into detail and everything. And now I have to do it all over again. Third time's the charm, right? Alright, enough of me complaining. Let's get right in these games again. Okay, let's go. Let's get into it. And I'm completely unprepared, I just realized. So forgive me for a few seconds, but I have to... Alright, let's do this. Houston Texans at the Cincinnati Bengals, the Thursday night game. Both of these teams looked really terrible last week. The Bengals getting shut out by the Ravens, and the Texans losing 29-7. To the Jaguars, and I have all these scores memorized because this is the third time I'm doing this. But the Texans looked really bad last week. They started Tom Savage, and then they benched him at halftime, Deshaun Watson, so he's going to be starting this game against Cincinnati. And Andy Dalton looked really terrible last week, throwing 4 interceptions in the loss to the Ravens. But I do think that this will be a decent game. I think Andy Dalton will rebound from his terrible performance last week. I really like the three-headed running back by committee they got there with Joe Mixon, Gio Bernard, and Jeremy Hill. I think that Andy Dalton might rely on that running game a little more this game than he did last week when he fell behind and just started to pass it and kept turning it over. And while I like Deshaun Watson, and I think he's got a nice future in the NFL, I think this will be a close defensive game. But I'm going to give the edge to the Bengals at home by a final score, Cincinnati 24, Houston 20. Next game, Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. I do think this will be a closer game than people think, because Cleveland actually played really well against Pittsburgh last week, and the Ravens obviously look dominant as well, shutting out the Bengals. So I think this will be a battle of two really good defenses. The Browns played really well against the Steelers last week, and I liked what I saw from DeShone Kizer. Honestly, guys like Corey Coleman and Kenny Britt in the receiving game, David Njoku, the rookie tight end out of Miami, I believe it is. They got some solid pieces on offense, and their defense is very respectable, but I'm going to give the edge to the Ravens in this game at home. I think it'll be a low-scoring defensive game, but I think Joe Flacco will have a decent game, and I think Terrace West will have about 80 or 90 yards in the running game to nice smash-mouth football. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to go low-scoring affair, Baltimore 20, Cleveland 14. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay playing their first game after their first one last week was canceled due to the hurricane. But I think this will be a very closer game than some people might think, because I saw the Chicago Bears play last week when I watched my Falcons play, and the Bears actually looked really good. Through 3 quarters, Mike Glennon was kind of just checking it down to people, but in the 4th quarter, he started to play really well. Maybe he honestly probably threw close to 200 yards in that 4th quarter alone, and I really liked what I saw from their rookie running back, Tarek Cohen. And I mean, him and Jordan Howard together, that's a nice 1-2 punch. I'll give him that. But I think I'm still going to give the edge to Tampa Bay in this game. They signed Deshaun Jackson in the offseason. I think that's a very underrated move for their offense. Not only do you have the elite tall wide receiver Mike Evans, but you also pair him with Deshaun Jackson. One has size, one has speed. That's going to be very deadly for their offense. And I'm going to give the edge to the Buccaneers because they got an amazing defense as well. Guys like Levante David and Quan Alexander shutting it down up the middle. So I'm going to give the edge to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game, in a close game. But I'm going to go Tampa Bay 27, Chicago 21. Next game, Minnesota Vikings on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, Heinz Field. I think this will be a pretty close game. Sam Bradford looked absolutely dominant last week against the Saints, and while that might not be saying much of their defense, I mean, he was basically flawless. I mean, I really like Sam Bradford, and he showed why last week. And the rookie running back out of Florida State, Dalvin Cook, looked dominant as well with over 100 yards rushing. And I mean, we all know that with guys like Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter coming off the edge, the Vikings have a dominant defense and one of the best corners in the NFL, and Xavier Rhodes, Harrison the Hitman Smith in the secondary. And Pittsburgh did not look very good against the Browns. I mean, I respect that Browns defense, but I mean, with the guys like Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, they got shut down a little too much in the running game for Le'Veon Bell's sake. And I think it'll be a close game. I mean, T.J. Watt played great last week for the Steelers, so I think they can hold their own defensively. But I'm going to give the edge to the Vikings to go into Pittsburgh and upset the Steelers in a nice low-scoring game. I'm going to go Minnesota 24, Pittsburgh 23. Next game, the New England Patriots at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints struggled last week against the Vikings defensively, and while Drew Brees played all right, we got to see how they handle that running back by committee with Alvin Kamara, Adrian Peterson, and Mark Ingram. But I think that after last week's performance against the Chiefs, the New England Patriots are going to come out looking for blood. I do not think their defense is going to play as bad as they did last week, even though the Saints have a good offense. I think Tom Brady will be out for blood, and he'll probably throw for about 300 yards or so. And I really like the 1-2 punch they got, Deion Lewis for speed and Mike Gillislee for power on the goal line. So I'm going to give the edge to the Patriots in this game. Final score, New England 34, New Orleans 27. I've done these games so many times, I'm just mixing everyone together now. My apologies. But anyway, moving on to the next game. Philadelphia Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles visiting their old coach, Andy Reid, in Kansas City. And I think it'll be a decent game. Carson Wentz looked amazing against the Redskins last week, throwing for over 300 yards, and I do think this will be a close game. Alex Smith dominated against the Patriots last week, and Kareem Hunt had over 200 yards from scrimmage, so I do think this will be a nice game. And while the Chiefs have lost Eric Berry, they still got guys like Justin Houston and Tamba Hali running off the edge, so I will give the edge to the Kansas City Chiefs in this game to win it at home. Final score, Kansas City 27, Philadelphia 26. Next game, Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This will be a closer game than people think, I feel like. If you asked me a week ago who'd win this game, I'd pick the Titans in a blowout. But Jaguars defense looked absolutely dominant against the Texans last week. I really liked what I saw from Blake Bortles. He had a respectable game. But I feel like the Titans offense is going to show that maybe the Jaguars were just playing a weak opponent, because Marcus Mariota has some nice receiving options, and Rashard Matthews. They drafted Corey Davis out of Western Michigan. Obviously, DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry, one of the best 1-2 punches in the NFL. So I'm going to go for the Titans to win this game in Jacksonville. Final score, Tennessee 24, Jacksonville 20. Next game, the Arizona Cardinals at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are straight garbage. They got no quarterback. Andrew Luck's injured. I don't care if they're starting Scott Tolzien or Jacoby Brissett. The Cardinals did look bad last week against the Lions. I think they'll rebound in this game. Carson Palmer will have a good game, and I think that Chris Johnson and Andre Ellington will do a decent job of filling in for David Johnson. And I'll go final score, Arizona 31, Indianapolis 14. Next game, the Buffalo Bills at the Carolina Panthers. Both teams are 1-0, and really liked what I saw last week from Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Stewart. Cam Newton, always got to give him a good chance, and they got a very good defense. But I still think the Bills can pull this one out. They got Tyrod Taylor, who's a very good quarterback, a nice dual threat player, and LaShawn McCoy is a top 5 running back in the NFL. Rushed for over 100 yards last week, and trading for Jordan Matthews in the pass game, I think will help him in this game. I think it'll be close, but I'm going to go the Buffalo Bills to win this game. Final score, Buffalo 28, Carolina 21. Next game, New York Jets at the Oakland Raiders. I mean, I predicted this game so many times, so I'm just going to say Oakland 42, Jets 10. Jets have no chance. They got no quarterback, Josh McCown. Oakland is going to absolutely destroy them, plain and simple. Next game, Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Chargers. Alright, Philip Rivers is a great quarterback. They got Melvin Gordon in the running game. They got a nice defense. Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram off the edge. Jay Cutler's coming back this year for the Dolphins, but I don't think that they have enough offense or defense to stop the Chargers in this game. I'm going to go for the Chargers to win this game. Final score, 24-17, Los Angeles. Next game, 49ers at the Seahawks. 49ers absolute garbage. They got Brian Hoyer at quarterback. Seahawks defense is amazing. They're going to play better offensively this week and protect Russell Wilson a little better. Eddie Lacy's going to have a nice game running the ball with over 100 yards rushing, I feel. And while 49ers have a nice young defense, I don't think that their offense is good enough to pick them up. I'm going to go final score. Seattle 31, San Francisco 14. Redskins at the Rams. Rams looked absolutely amazing against the Colts last week. Absolutely dominated. Jared Goff threw for over 300 yards, showing why he was the #1 overall pick 2 years ago. Todd Gurley in the running game, I think, will have a nice impact at this game. Rams defense is very good, as they showed last week. I like Kirk Cousins, but I just don't think that they'll be able to pull it off this game on the road in Los Angeles. So I'm going to go for the Los Angeles Rams to win this game by a final score of 24-17 LA. Next game, Dallas Cowboys at the Denver Broncos. Denver is a 2-point underdog at home, but with their defense, I think they have a good chance in this game. Trevor Siemian looked really nice last week. C.J. Anderson is top 10 running back in the NFL. And while Dak Prescott is one of my favorite quarterbacks and Ezekiel Elliott rushed for over 100 yards last week, I think Denver's defense will be able to contain them a little better than the Giants did last week. I'm going to go for Denver to win a nice close game. Final score, Denver 24, Dallas 21. Next game, Sunday night game, Green Bay Packers at the Atlanta Falcons. I predicted this game so many times. Basically what I've said is this is going to be a shootout. It's going to be a good game. Falcons played well against the Packers last year, beat them both times they played them. Close game in the regular season and a blowout in the playoffs, but I just think there's going to be absolutely no defense this game. It's going to be all offense, but I think the Falcons are going to pull it off in their new Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Final score, Falcons 35, Green Bay Packers 31. Last game, the Detroit Lions on the road to take on the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium Monday Night Football. The Giants looked absolutely terrible last week. Eli Manning just played so bad. Brandon Marshall was held to one catch for 10 yards after signing a big contract. And Detroit looked really good last week. They started down really early with that Matt Stafford pick six, but he responded almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. I really like their defense. Miles Killebrew, the safety for the Lions, had a really underrated game last week. I think he's a good player to watch. They drafted Jared Davis, the middle linebacker, out of Florida, and Tease DeBoer, the cornerback, also out of Florida. So I think they got a very underrated defense, and their offense is really good, and the Giants just struggled last week. And so when I pick the Giants to win their division, I think they will start 0-2 here. Maybe they'll probably rebound after this game, but I think that they'll have it tough against the Lions. I think the Detroit will win this game 31-24. So there you go. I predicted the games for the third time in like half an hour, so sorry if I kind of rushed this time, but I'm just getting so sick and tired of talking about these games. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about my picks. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And hopefully it recorded correctly this time, because if not, I'm just going to give up. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. If it did record, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.